This one here, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, guys. We're going to talk briefly about Lawrence Smith, the death of Lawrence Smith, but we're also going to talk about this individual, Matthew LaFontaine. Okay, so Lawrence Smith Fields is someone's sister, someone's little sister, someone's niece, someone's daughter, someone's grandchild, someone's cousin. She was found dead after going on a bumble date with an individual by the name of Matthew LaFontaine. This case is being looked at on a national level because of a multitude of reasons, the suspicions surrounding her death, and most importantly, the way that the police handled the investigation from the very beginning. I don't want to begin talking about how disappointed I am with Black content creators on social media. Before we can accuse the media of anything, we have to look within ourselves to find out why aren't popular social media people talking about this? Why aren't your favorite Black social media people talking about this case? What reason would they have not to is the real question you need to ask yourself. What narrative are they trying to protect by not covering this case? But I don't want to get into that crap. I want to talk about Matthew LaFontaine, right? So this is the thing people have to realize, right? People have to realize that in 2022, it's not hard to find out who you are. It's not hard to find out where you live. It's not hard to find out who your people are. It's not hard to find out your criminal record. It's not hard to find out what you do for a living. It's not hard. So this AutoCAD driver or AutoCAD quote unquote engineer meets this sister, Lawrence Smith Fields, through Bumble. He said to the police that he had known her for 3 days. They go on a date. I guess you could call it 2 days. On the second day, they went on a date and stayed the night to the third day. But before I talk about the date, I want to say that this is a modern day rape, okay, of a Black woman in 2022. That's exactly what this is. Now, y'all think I'm stretching. I know. You think I'm exaggerating. I know. But hear me out and understand why I say that. If a woman is drugged, can she give consent? We already know that the family of the young woman went to the apartment and found the condom with his semen inside of it. We know this. They had sex. Now, did he have consent to be in the apartment? Sure. But just because he gave her consent to be there does not mean that he didn't drug her. Why do I say he drugged her? Well, it was found, and I'm going to give you guys the details. They found all sorts of drugs in this woman's system. It says she died due to acute intoxication, due to the combined effects of fentanyl. First of all, fentanyl is not a drug Black people use. I'm not saying that no Black people use fentanyl, but when you think of fentanyl and who the hell uses fentanyl, okay, I don't know who uses it where you live. I'm not into that world, but what I can tell you is that when I go a little yonder down the road and I see the fentanyl addicts, family, they're all white. Okay, I'm not going to. What you want me to sugarcoat that? They're all white. I don't know of any Black fentanyl addicts. I'm not saying that Black people don't use fentanyl. I'm just saying in general, it's not really a Black person's drug of choice. Okay, so fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxine, and alcohol. Right. So this is the cocktail that this woman was under the effects of. But the killer, the most present drug was fentanyl. Now, when you see this person, this AutoCAD quote unquote engineer, Matthew T. LaFontaine, born January 31st, 1984. It's actually his birthday today. When you see him, what do you see? When you see him, what do you see? Do you see a man who could drug a young, beautiful black woman? Is that what you see? Do you see a man who's been convicted of drug possession? Oh, yeah, we going in. Convicted of drug possession. Is that what you see? You probably don't see that when you see the picture of him on Good Morning America. Why? Because when the media portrays this man, they're not going to show you his messed up photographs. They're not going to show you his mug shots and his photos of him looking like he's on drugs. They're not going to show you those. They'll show you this powerful looking, you know what I'm saying, white man. That's what they're going to show you. So that's what you're going to believe. Before you ever even do any research or anything like that, like I said, it ain't hard, family. It ain't hard to find out who you are, where you live, who your people are. It's not hard. I said what I said. He have been convicted of drug possession. So when you ask yourself, is a person who's already been convicted of drugs and had to, was sentenced to do some jail time behind it, is it possible that he could still be dibbling and dabbling in that world? You be the judge. But either this young sister took these drugs or he gave them to her. He slipped them to her. He slipped something in her drink. Keep this in mind, family. Don't you think it's odd that this man hasn't spoke? Don't you think it's odd that when the family is trying to get justice, the brother of this young woman who died is not saying, oh, we spoke to Mr. LaFontaine, etc., etc. Don't you think that's odd? Do you think it's odd that this guy deleted his social media profiles, LinkedIn, and all these other things? Do you think it's odd? I mean, if he has nothing to hide and is in fact innocent, there's nothing odd about that to you? No, family, I'm sure this man has something to hide. Oh, I'm sure. And what that is the truth. He know what happened that night. People who use fentanyl don't just die. People who use fentanyl, they do die. But what I'm saying is a person who uses fentanyl, okay, on a regular basis, not finna just die. They're not gonna just, this death is because this woman is not used to the cocktail of drugs that she had that night. And you can thank the drug convicted white man, Matthew LaFontaine, for that. That's who you can thank. That is who is to blame for the situation. But that's already established. And I hope I made that clear for y'all. Y'all think I'm flabbergasting and lying? Go look it up yourself. Go look it up yourself. But here's the other aspect of this, and why I call it a modern day rape. Y'all understand that for the longest, let's put it like this. Raping black women have been legal in America for a longer period of time than it has been illegal. Okay? I'm gonna put that out there. Okay? Or just about as much time. You understand what I'm trying to say? So if you were a black woman, or if a black woman were to get raped back in the day, there is no justice. It's just, it is what it is. You got raped by a white man, even if you're a free black woman, you go out there in the street and some man take a hold of you and rape you, and you think you're finna go to court or go speak to the district attorney or go talk to the police, they're gonna laugh at you. Maybe not laugh at you, but they're not gonna take you serious. You're on your own. You will have to find out who the individual is and go get justice yourself. That's what you would have to do if you wanted some justice back in them days. That's just a fact. You can say what you want. Oh, what is he saying? I'm telling you the facts. That's what it was. Before you start talking about, oh, what is he saying? Why don't you talk about them? Don't even get me into that. I don't want to get started, go down that rabbit hole. But listen, the police come. They see what's happening. They see that the sister is dead. Does Mr. LaFontaine tell the police that they took drugs that night? Of course not. Of course not. He says, oh, yeah, we had some drinks, and after we had something to drink, she looked a little bit sick, and she went to the bathroom and threw up, and she was acting ill that night. I still stayed the night, and and we had sex, and I woke up the next morning and she was dead. This bastard have a built-in excuse. He got a built-in excuse, like, oh yeah, she was sick the night before, and she woke up dead. Police believe it. Police don't even question him. Police, the family is all over. The family is all over mainstream media saying that the police are so insensitive. The brother says one of the cops laughed at him and told him to, excuse me, he didn't laugh at him. He told him to stop calling and asking questions about the case.
And texting Lauren and were referred to a Detective Cronin.
They even contact us, they didn't let us know anything. It's like crazy. And I'm asking what's going on. He said she met some guy on Bumble, and I'm asking him about the guy. He's like, oh, he sounds like a really nice guy. He sounds like a really good guy. And he was like, I'll call you back, and just hung up in my face.
They say the detective promised to come by the apartment.
Never showed up.
The family says the relationship with police devolved from there. No contact from December 13th until December 29th. They returned to the apartment to clear out Lauren's belongings and claim a new detective came by to say he'd taken over the case from Detective Cronin.
The detective said he effed up, he messed up. He effed Cronin, he messed up. He didn't know what he was doing. He messed up the case.
The family says they provided evidence they'd collected to crime scene investigators who arrived for the first time that day, included a bloody sheet and a pill.
And 2 cups of drinks or whatever next to a bottle. They didn't take none of that. We seen a condom, we seen lube, other stuff in there. And they didn't take none of this.
Sources close to the investigation tell the I-Team that Matthew LaFountain, pictured in this social media photo, now removed, was the man at Lauren's apartment. A neighbor at his listed address in Milford confirmed LaFountain's identity, but we were unable to reach the 37-year-old who has not been accused of any wrongdoing. LaFountain's same image appeared under the name Matthew Thomas, now also taken down.
Anyone that genuinely cared and they weren't there, the last person there, and they know that nothing bad happened, you would at least even reach out to the family yourself. Like, listen, I know I'm sorry for your loss of your daughter or your sister.
The family's last contact with police was on January 4th at headquarters with their attorney.
What I believe is that the police failed to collect and preserve that environment from the first day.
The attorney has now filed a notice of claim to sue Bridgeport for negligence, claiming key evidence was not initially submitted to the state lab.
I feel like because she's a white guy and she's a black girl, it's just almost like they just thrown it under the rug.
That night she was silent, so now we are her voice. But we're here, and we're fighting for her.
The Bridgeport Police Department did not respond to repeated messages we left about the case, but in previous statements, they've said the investigation is open and active, and that detectives are waiting for a final report from the medical examiner on the cause and manner of death. Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.
They're saying, listen, we need help greater than the Connecticut Police Department because there's clearly something going on here. You think? They're covering up. They're it's the built-in excuse. What the white man says is right. There's a dead black woman over here that he had sex with the night before. They're going to believe whatever that white man says. That is the gospel, okay, to them cops. And they know, even if in their heart they know something is wrong, guess what? They still gonna side with that man. They still gonna. That's what it is, family. You think we were born yesterday? This is why I said this is an example of a modern day rape. It's just the truth, family. So I don't know how to feel, to be honest with you. But the true colors of this man have been shown, Mr. LaFountain. And I pray that everybody in the United States of America hold the police of Connecticut accountable, hold the government to the highest level accountable, but most importantly, hold this man, Mr. LaFountain, accountable. But you want to know the comical part about that? Let's say they do suspect foul play. But guess what? The night of her death, or the day after her death, Police come, they don't even drug test Mr. LaFontaine. They don't even do a proper investigation on the day that they discovered the crime scene. So even if by a stroke of luck, this man, there's enough evidence to arrest him, right? Reasonable cause or something like that, whatever it's called, whatever the legal term is, police need to have to arrest him for something. When he goes to trial, family, it won't stand because there's no evidence, because the police botched the entire investigation. So if you are the brother or the father or the mother or the sister of Lauren Smith Fields, what do you do? Where is your solace in all of this? You know where your solace is? Your solace is in the laughter of the law enforcement officers who went to that crime scene and knew what happened and didn't give a damn. Your solace is in the heartless cowardice of this bastard, Matthew LaFontaine. That's where your solace is. It's in the heart of people who don't give a fuck about you. You know, I'm going to end it like this. People can date and do whatever the hell they want to do, right? I'm not trying to be the governor of a woman's body and everything like that, but it just don't make sense to me to know a man for 2 days, go on a date, and invite him back to your apartment. I'm trying to understand that. You are a single woman. You've known this man for 2 days, and you go on a date and bring him back to your apartment. I don't even know if they went on an actual date. Maybe the date was at her apartment. Like, what kind of... What? And you got a 38-year-old man that's like, oh yeah, let's go back to your place. You lame ass old man, what the hell you on, boy? This how you know this man wasn't serious about her from the beginning. Ain't no man in his right. Look, you know what he's looking for. Stop playing with me. And he went over there, guess what? His mind already was evil from the rip. He going over there to straight up have to fornicate with this black woman. Oh, and believe he bringing plenty drugs. He bringing plenty drugs. Are you stupid? And the sister ended up dead. That's what happened, family. Y'all can say whatever the hell you want to say. I'm telling you what happened. He went over there to get some sex from that black girl with plenty drugs. And the girl wasn't used to the drugs that he had, and it tore her up. Her system was in a state of shock. She probably had cardiac arrest or something like that and died. What you want to say? And the last thing I'm going to say before I get out of here is this. Hey, y'all know I ain't playing no games with me, man. Like, y'all, some people do this stuff for entertainment. Man, this is real life, man. Like, stop playing, man. This is real life. But let's say this. Let me say this and I'm out of here for real. You know, the last two things that this woman did before she died, two of the last things that she did before she died, is ingest some drugs and alcohol and fornicate with a 38-year-old white man. Then she died. That's the reality of what happened. And we will never get an answer. We will never, the government, there will never be, no, it's not happening. An investigation, you're wasting your time. Like, I mean, maybe something can happen in a civil court. You want to fight tooth and nails and sue the department. That's what's going to happen. That's how they're going to do you. That's how they always do black people. Listen, something really wrong just happened, all right? No, we're not sending this guy to jail, but you can sue the city and the taxpayers will pay you a couple $1 million to shut you up and not change the law surrounding these types of investigations. We holler and scream Black Lives Matter, etc., etc. I asked myself months ago, do black lives even matter to black people? And I'm not trying to change the whole subject here, but do we love ourselves? Like, do you love your sister enough to hold her accountable? Do you love your sister enough to tell her, damn, sis, Like, have you done a background check on this nigga? Excuse me, this guy? Do you know who his family is? Do you know who his siblings are? Have he explained his criminal past to you? You know he got a prior drug conviction. You know that, right? Like, you know that. Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to respect yourself? Because guess what, family? Predators don't always look like R. Kelly. Predators can look like Mr. LaFontaine, okay? With a charming smile and a grin, make you feel a certain way. Predators listen to divestors. Are you stupid? You think predators don't listen to divestment channels? You have to be out of your mind. They know how y'all think. I'm going to leave it alone at that. Hey, rest in peace to this sister. Hey, man. If y'all know the brother of this young lady, he can contact me, man. For real. For real. Because, hey, this is unacceptable. Point blank, period. And, you know, we have to look out for one another. You see, when you see like black men like myself do the things that we do and talk about cases like this, it's because I feel for this sister who died, and I feel for the brother. I feel for the family, because it is in our natural inclination to protect our family, right, from outside threats. Now, you can come from the outside and not be a threat and be cool and be kosher. You prove yourself worthy, ain't no problem. You know what I'm saying? You'll be treated like a brother. But you come in with that bullshit, bruh, how can you understand American history and not understand where I'm coming from? With that, I say like, share, and subscribe. Comment below. Tell me what y'all think about this case and about this situation. Till we chat again, it's Urban Politics, and I am checking out. Deuces.